Hello everybody, this is Siddharth and I'm here to present a case analysis on HDFC Bank securing online banking, and my team members will be Vamsi and Praveen. Now let us look into the key facts. HDFC Bank started its operations in January 95. It was promoted by HDFC, a premier housing finance company that had developed a core competence in retail mortgage loans. In August 2007, HDFC was one of the leading banks and took the 11th place in Indian banks ranked by deposits. The level of security provided by this bank was the first level security and was also needed for the change or improvement of the security by the CIO. HDFC Bank started offering online banking services soon after the RBI published its guidelines on internet banking in 2001. On the whole, bank had a total of 10 million customers, of which only 4.6 million customers comprised of savings account holders. HDFC Bank has three segments, total of 21,477 employees through a network of 684 branches. This bank also used an adaptive risk modeling technology for its online transactions. The bank's centralized data center and backup systems were located in two different locations. HDFC Bank's online banking was secure and consisted of two components. One would be the net banking and other would be the mobile banking. Here are a few more facts. HDFC Bank signed on with an RCA Security to set up a 24/7 command center to take the corrective action against psychic attack. Bank also introduced a cooling period where the transfer of funds to a new person not listed on the account will be effective only after 24 hours. On the country ranking of internet subscribers, India ranked the 19th position by the way of 2007. Now, what are the key issues the company is facing or the bank is facing? The first key issue, how to safeguard security for online transactions by also keeping customer ease as a priority. The alternative courses of action are customer authentication during online transactions through encryption, digital signature, and by strengthened password technology using biometrics and security tokens. And the other alternate course of action would be security methods and detection from fraudulent attacks by the use of digital certificates and virus scanners. So now let us look into the first alternative. The pros would be security tokens are more secure than user IDs and passwords. It plays an effective role in securing user credentials more effectively for online transactions. Biometrics can provide a high level of security for any user credential when coupled with a smart card. Biometrics are stable and permanent, which cannot be lost. By the use of digital signatures, we do not have to wait for paper documents, and the risk of documents being cut off in between and can be decreased up to a certain extent. Now, on the contrast, we have cons. Security tokens need additional input cost, and user always have to carry the token with them. Biometrics need to update the changes over the time, which results due to injury or illness of the person. To use digital signature, sender and the receiver should buy separate software. Now the second alternative, the security methods and also the detection of fraudulent attacks. On the pros we have, having a virus scanner keeps you protected from Trojan worms, spyware and all the other kind of viruses which cause psychic attacks. By installing a good firewall, you can protect your computer from malicious hackers and suspicious links or websites. Digital certificates are more advantageous for privacy-based authentication, and this can be done by encrypting your communications. On the contrast, we have few cons. Most of the security softwares does not provide up-to-minute updates, especially for the free versions. Most of the hackers target the certificate authority and create fake websites which look similar and pass the certification tests. So the recommended COA. As a group, we would recommend customer authentication during online transaction through encryption and also by using biometrics and security tokens. Why? Authentication is a process that is used to verify the claimed identity which has been started earlier in the study. For authentication, there are various methods. This method, which is used most significantly, is password. Most of the financial institutions for authentication make use of passwords along with a personal identification number. The security can be strengthened by making use of technologies like smart cards, biometrics, and tokens by requiring the user to acquire something physical. Now let us see the second key issue. How to provide secure access to every online registered user. On the alternative course of actions, we have two. One would be the multi-factor authentication and other would be two-factor authentication using mobile phones. First, the multi-factor authentication using proximity cards. On the pros we have, it is similar to that of smart cards and authenticates the user as long as the card is with you. The users are given a card which can easily be placed in the wallets, keychains, etc. Users need not worry about entering one-time password or a code from their end. The security is good when compared to other tokens, as the thief would have to log in even if he has got the card. On the contrast, we have some cons. Every system must have a card scanner and also every user should have a proximity card with them. These cards can be stolen from the user and misused. Now let us look into the second alternative, which is two-factor authentication using mobile phones. Pros. Mobile phones are carried all the times by the users, so this does not require additional tokens with them. Instantly generated passcodes are safer than the login procedure. Due to a specific number of false entries, this reduces the risk of attacks by unauthorized users. On the contrast, we have few cons. The phone should be carried by the user all the time with them. The mobile phone should have proper signal and the battery should be charged. Text messages can be unencrypted easily these days and misused to steal the user information. Text messages may cost the user to spend money even on receiving messages. So the recommended COA, multi-factor authentication by proximity cards. The biggest advantages of multi-factor authentication are it has an organized way of signing in from the user end, but it makes it difficult for the hackers. Now let us see the last key issue, that is the difficulty of choosing whether the servers should be located on-site or off-site. The alternative course of action, on-site backup and off-site backup, which would be a hybrid cloud. On-site backup. This involves storing the data in storage devices such as pen drives, CD drives, hard drives, etc. There is no internet required for this type of backup, and data backup can be done manually or automatically. So here are a few pros. On-site backups carry a low rate of systemic failure because the server would be an integral part of Hdfc's own local area network. The other hard drives are very cheap and easy to buy, but they are very time taking, and make sure you have a burner and a software that are necessary for the backup. Internet access is not required because they are connected directly to the computer. On the contrast, we have few cons. Hard drive CDs can be easily stolen, resulting in the loss of time, money and data. In a tragic situation, the on-site data may be lost. For example, if there is a fire in the office building, all the important data has been collected, can be destroyed. If you have an undiscovered Trojan on the system, it will get backup to the hard disk, thereby affecting the backup. So the offsite backup or the hybrid cloud, the combination of two or more clouds such as private and public cloud which are joined together. Pros: an hybrid cloud model will keep every official information in an efficient environment. If your organization wants to use a certain application, but if it is concerned about the security, the application vendor can create a private cloud for your organization inside the firewall. Therefore, it will provide an additional security to the organization. We can use the public cloud to interact with different groups or other groups by providing security within the private cloud. On the other hand, we have cons. Online backups are extravagant. They charge fees based on the data stored on the server. To back up the data, you must have internet connection. If the internet connection is slow, you cannot be able to back up the data. And you cannot also back up the data if there is no internet connection. If you forget the username and password, you cannot be able to retrieve the information. The quality of file may be decreased as it is transferred via internet. The recommended COA. Offsite backup, that is, we choose a hybrid cloud model. A public cloud brings all the technologies together for a reasonable price and also provides security, which will be a hardship for a private cloud to look after all the security issues. A hybrid cloud provides more benefits and also fulfills the demands of each process in a right cloud. With an increase in business demand, most of the organizations are looking out for a cloud computing technology. The hybrid computing model is a perfect solution for better agility and operational flexibility. Thank you for listening.